Thank you. So like some of us were a part of the first session that Sunil and Dipanshu took. It was a fabulous session on Adani bots. We'll be having such weekly sessions now on. And thank you, Vitali and Devain, for taking initiative on your own to give us another good stock here, an insight to another good stock. So today they'll be presenting Page Industries, and like we tried to cover as many aspects as possible in the last week's presentation, we'll try and do justice to this stock as well, right? So Devin and Vidali, all the best. Keep smiling. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. Vidali and I are here to present Page Industries in front of the group so that we can take a collective investment decision based on our research. So first, before that, I'll just give you the background of what Page Industry is, what they do, and when did they start. So Page Industries was formed in 1995. That's like 25 years ago. They are the official licensee for products of Jockey and Speedo in India. They are in India, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. They are responsible for distribution as well as manufacturing of the product. They have a manufacturing unit set up in Bangalore, and as we all know, Jockey is a international brand. It originated from US, and Speedo is also an international brand. It originated in Australia. So that's the background of the company. As we can see, if anyone wants to invest in this, the stock code is Page IND, and BSE, the code is this 532827. So it's one of the growth stock. It's one of the growth stock. We basically categorize stocks on the basis of return on equity or the intrinsic value the stock is having at current time. So according to our analysis, it falls in the category of growth stock. If we talk about the recommendation, I recommend buying the stock at rupees 7,900, and the target price would be 21,629, and the second would be 26,183. We'll talk about this again when we have discussed the technical analysis part. So over to you, Vidali.
Am I audible properly now, Devin?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll be doing the quantitative analysis now. Why are we doing this quantitative analysis is because all companies, they publish this financial data on their websites, but we perform these few ratios so that we can check the financial health of a company and pass a comment on the financial health. So the first ratio would be the debt to equity ratio. As we all know, the capital structure of a company has two instruments, debt and equity. And in a very basic language, a lot of debt is not favorable. So we check here whether the equity is able to back up the debt. So the ratio calculated is 0.16 and the permissible limit is 0.5. It should be within 0.5. So it's well within the limit. It's a positive sign. Next is the interest coverage ratio. Through this ratio, we try to see whether the company would be able to pay the debt and how capable it is to cover the debt. So the permissible limit for this, it should be more than 5. In this case, it's 19.13. So it's a sizable amount, and given the low amount of debt that the company has, so these two ratios are good to go. Next is the gross profit margin, which is a direct indicator of the profitability. It is at 51%, which is a good size, and it is still growing. After deducting the everyday expenses, the operating expenses, the operating profit margin is at 18.6%, and it is steady, which is again a positive sign. The return on equity is basically what returns the shareholders are getting on their investment, and this stands at 48.57% per annum. So we consider anything above 15 to be good, and here it's almost 50 if we round it off. So it's really nice. Next would be the sales growth. So we have noticed the trend of the sales growth. It has been rising in the last 3 years, and not just rising, but rising at a very high rate at a CAGR of 40.92%. And so is the net income. It has been rising in the last 3 years, and it has grown almost 10 times in the past 10 years. So to sum it up, all of these ratios, I would mark them in green, and they are all positive.
So moving ahead, if we talk about the moat is basically the stickiness. In simple language, you can say आदत जो छोड़ना बहुत मुश्किल होता है टुवर्ड्स अ ब्रांड और अ प्रोडक्ट और अ कंपनी, वो आदत छोड़ी नहीं जा सकती। आदत छूटती है तो उसको अडैप्ट करना किसी और चीज में मुश्किल होता है। So that's in the simple language if you talk about more. So for Page Industry, they are dealing in jockey and speedo. If you talk about jockey, the moat is very very high because of few factors. We all know jockey is into innerwear for men, women, and athleisure. Athleisure by the brand Jockey Move, Jockey Go, Jockey Sports. So innerwear is something whenever you're going to a market and whenever you pick up a jockey product, most of the shops or most of the outlets don't give you the option of trying that product. So in innerwear category, if we have aced a particular size, if we have aced a particular brand or a particular model, you don't go on and experimenting it, because it's not a fashion product. You can be bored of Levi's jeans and then you can switch to Jack and Jones or any other brand. But if you talk of the innerwear, fashion question is not that high. So if you have aced one particular brand or one particular size, you stick to that, because the market doesn't give you the option of experimenting. So Vidali, you can start.
Yeah,
the
I'll
business
take over.
model.
So the business model, as Devendra just told, it has two brands. The flagship brand would be Jockey, which is originally an American. Jockey International is an American company. It deals in men and women innerwear and athleisure. And Speedo is dealing exclusively in swimming products. It's originally an Australian brand. So there are over 63,000 plus retail jockey stores and 1,300 plus Speedo outlets in 86 cities and towns across the country. So this shows that it's a well connected. So there's a well connection all over the country. It's the connection is really nice, and there are a total of 720 exclusive brand outlets in India and 6 EBOs outside of India. So Speedo is it's basically it's a niche market, so its contribution to the total revenue is not much. That's why we are calling Jockey the flagship brand here, and it contributes almost rupees 41 crores to the total revenue, which is good, but still not as much as Jockey. Next, talking about the management. So to assess the performance of the management, we did not have any direct contact. So what we did, we looked at some indicators such as the debt to equity ratio, the return to assets, return to equity, which are direct indicators of a management's performance. And they all suggest that the management is quite good. Also, there have been regular dividends, which shows that the confidence of management is very much there. Next is the competitive advantage. So in this market, for the new entrants, the entry barrier is low. That's why we've seen so many people are in the market, so many players. If a person can even start making innerwear at their own houses and they can enter the market. But this is not a major problem for Page Industries because it's the market leader with a market capitalization of almost 19,000 crore rupees. So any new entrants coming or going would not really matter to the industry, to Page Industry. Next is the bargaining power of suppliers, which is low because the textile industry, as we know, it's a traditional industry in India, and there is a huge amount of suppliers available for this. So thus the bargaining power goes low. Threat of substitute products. This is a very positive sign. It's negligible because coffee can substitute tea, but a t-shirt can't substitute a vest. And innerwear and swimwear, these are two products which cannot be substituted. They are basically, you can call them essential goods only. So this is a very big plus for the company that it's producing such products which can't be substituted. Next is the bargaining power of buyer, which is high because we have so many, number of buyers is really high. And also they have a lot of options. And the uniqueness factor of the product is not really very important here because almost all of them are providing the same products. But here is where the brand image comes into play. And Page Industries wins when it comes to brand image. That is why it's the market leader. The rivalry among competitors is also moderate because there is a good amount of players in the market. And yeah, to sum it up, the competitive advantage through the Porter's five forces, it looks in favor of the company.
So to add to what Vidali said, if we talk about the business model, we can clearly see that the brand, they have a good reach all over India and outside India as well, among the neighboring countries. They have a good reach. So we can't really think that Jockey won't be available at some place, or it will be much concentrated at one place. And if we sum up the competitive advantage, recently we have seen a lot of competitors enter into the market. If we talk about Levi's, UCB, or Van Heusen, that's from Birla House. So the thing is, if when we talk of whenever we are talking about Page Industry, their focus is jockey, that is innerwear. But when we are talking about Van Heusen or Levi's, their main primary segment, the main product segment is fashion wear, fashion clothing. If we talk about Van Heusen, they are much they concentrate on the suiting and shirts. And if you talk about Jockey, they are completely into innerwear, and they have recently expanded their product line into sportswear as well. But the thing is, these companies can enter, but they don't have a sizable market share. We really can't consider them as direct competitors, because Page Industry is something which has been able to survive in India from the past 25 years. So if we talk about the shareholding pattern, we have observed from past 3 years, there has been absolutely no selling in the promoter share. It is intact at 48.32% from the past 3 years, which is a very good sign. Reason for this is that promoters believe in the company. They know they are doing something right, and they want their wealth to be maximized as well, along with the wealth of shareholders. If there is no pledge share, it's zero from the past 3 years, which is a very good sign. If I talk about FIA and DII, that they are foreign investors and domestic investors, and the mutual fund MF stands for mutual fund. They believe in the company. They are very big players. They have intensive research going on. Uh, they have experienced teams, and they believe in the company. They have been researching this company, and they have been repeatedly they have increased their shareholding in the company, which is a good sign for us. Others is retail investors like you, me. Uh, these are the investors we would be much interested in. And if we talk about the dividend, they recently declared a dividend, and they gave 580% of dividend on the face value. Face value of the stock is rupees 10, so that is rupees 58 per share. And they have been giving repeated dividends over time, like before 58 rupees per share, that happened in February. Before that, they gave a dividend of rupees 41 per share. So we can clearly see from 41 they have jumped up to 58 rupees per share. So that's a good sign again. So,
Yeah. I'll just summarize the qualitative analysis. So the innerwear category, which is jockey, it is estimated to be worth rupees 28,000 crore rupees approximately, and it accounts for 10% of the total apparel market in 2017. And it will further grow at an impressive rate of 10% to reach 74,000 crore rupees. The men and women innerwear market would also grow. It's forecasted to grow at a CAGR of 6% and 12% respectively. So at a lot of places, while studying for this talk, we read that the market is under-penetrated. So it's not yet saturated, and there is still a lot of potential for the market leader, which is Page Industries, as well as others. But we've seen that how Page Industries has always grabbed these opportunities. So the penetration that we see right now, which is of 20% in the premium menwear and 6 to 8% in the women's market as well as athleisure, it will further rise now. And even the companies even concentrating on increasing their production. Last year only it has bought a sizable amount of land to further increase its production in India. Page Industries has also targeted reaching 1,000 plus exclusive brand outlets by 2021, which is would be very nice. So just to sum it up, the future of the company looks really bright, and the all the so the whole analysis that we did, the qualitative analysis to check the health of the company, it I don't remember any point at which it was not positive. From the ratios to the satisfaction of the shareholders to the management, everything looks really positive. And with talking about the future as well, that also looks good. So further, I'll hand over to Devin to talk about the technical part.
We can conclude from the discussion we have had so far that the health of the company is really good. The future prospects of the company are good, and it is being managed in a very good way. The management is good. We have talked about everything, the business model and everything. So right now, some people might be thinking that, yeah, I should take a position or rather invest in this company. But the thing is, it is very important to time a position as well, time a entry and exit as well. And for that, we take the help of technical analysis, because as the saying go by, we make profit when we buy. So it is very important to be very precise when do we enter the any stock or any script, and when do we exit the script. So for that, we'll be taking the help of technical analysis. So this is the monthly chart that we have analyzed, and this is of the page industry, as we can see. And we have seen, according to our understanding, we have been able to identify certain support and resistance zones. And support and resistance zones, we can consider as two walls in which the stock plays. And then if we are able to buy at support, and if we are able to time our position in such a way that we are able to forecast the resistance level, we can make good profits. So if we talk about the weekly chart, I have observed that we can take a position at 17,900 points or rupees. This is something I would recommend that we should enter this stock right now, because it's very near the support line that we have shown over here. And the resistance that we are able to identify is at rupees 21,629. So the strategy I would recommend is that we enter this stock right now, and then we sell half of our lot at 21,629. That's an upside of 20%. And then rest of the lot we sell at 26,183 rupees. That's 46% upside if we buy right now. So we can see the company is good. Company has sort of a monopoly in the segment that they are operating in. They have had a good history. They have been able to maximize shareholders well. They have a good robust business model, and if we are able to buy stock at the right price, we can make some handsome profits in it. Thank you. So we are open to any questions that the group might have.
Question.
Anji sir.
Someone asking?
Yeah, I would like to make a point over here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the company, this Page Industry is a very interesting company, and one, I don't know why they have this policy. They are not splitting their shares into smaller quantities, because they don't want small retail investors to enter this, and they want only solid players to buy their shares. Like if a person wants to enter the share market or wants to buy a share for 10,000 rupees, so probably he can buy so many Vodafone shares, but they cannot even buy one Page Industry share. So they really don't want small retail investors. Even if I plan to buy invest 1 lakh rupees in the share, I will only get approximately 5 or 6 shares. That's about it.
Lakshay, is there a question there?
Just a point.
Devin, would you like to answer that?
But the thing is, we don't really look at stocks like that. Like stock is of 20,000 rupees or 50,000 rupees. 50,000 rupees. We check the prospect. If we talk about if we are able to enter 17,000 rupees, we still have an upside of 20%. Like, and if you're comparing that with Vodafone Idea, so Vodafone Idea, you are getting the volume. You can easily boast, I have 20,000 shares of Vodafone Idea, but the health of the company is not that good. Also, we have to take into consideration as well, like what the market cap of the company is. If we talk about ITC, they have a market capitalization of 2 lakh crore, and they have a current market price of around 170 rupees. And if we are talk about when we are talking about Page Industries, they have a market capitalization of 20,000 crore, and the stock is priced as 18,000 rupees. So whenever we are talking about market capitalization, we take into consideration the price and the outstanding shares. So these things cannot be compared, because if we are talking about the volume may sound appealing to you, but if any other stock which is good and it's able to give you handsome returns, so we shouldn't really talk about the volume like we have 10,000 or 20,000 share if we are able to make decent profit only from one share.
So I would also like to ask a question. First of all, it was a very good presentation. One thing which I saw was that this company is a dividend given company. So generally, companies give dividend when they don't see growth in their business. So they start paying dividends. So, but the second statement which you were saying that they are a growing company, it contradicts a bit, right? So I would just want to ask, uh, what was your analysis on this part?
So we were able to analyze, like when we were studying financial data of the company, we did see that right now their profit stands at 30,000 crore. And if we go back 10 years down the line, 10 years earlier, it was something around 3,000 crore.
Okay.
So we can see the company has grown substantially, because 3,000 to 30,000 crore is a very, very solid jump.
So
And
we can say it like this company has reached its maximum growth, as in
not really, as we did discuss, and recently in February, their CFO, Mr. Chandrasekhar, gave an interview as well, and I did some research on the segment or the sector that they're dealing in. It's an untapped market. If we talk about innerwear, it's an untapped market, so they do have a growth. And we did talk about in the summary when we were summarizing the qualitative analysis that it is an underpenetrated market. So if we talk about the past few years, Jockey has been very aggressively has been investing in the marketing campaign. They came with colors. They were trying to switch to they were trying to target the fashion quotient of as well, because they started the range of pop color. They started the range of activewear. So they are trying to enter new markets as well. They are trying to penetrate more deeper in the market. They are trying to tap teens as well with the, as I talked about, the color range. So they are diversifying, they are investing, and they are diversifying. So we cannot really say that they are at the saturation level. We can say that even the future prospect of the company are very bright.
Okay, thank you so much, Devin. Anirudh, just to add a little technical there, dividends are given when you do not see future capital expenditure.
Okay.
Right, and that has nothing to do with the exact growth in terms of revenue in the short term. So capital expenditure is, like we've studied, capital expenditure is the major reason that shrinks the free cash flow, right?
Right. But since a company stops making any capital expenditure, that
so we can, yeah, that's what I'm answering. So we can say that the CFO of Jockey, or the team of Jockey, or team of Page Industries, my bad, is right now not anticipating enough growth to meet the capacity that they already have.
Okay.
So in the temporary phase, they are thinking it wise enough to distribute the dividends.
Right.
But this is a short term, or this is a current phenomena. Also, if you see, they've been able to, if you see 10 years of trend, they've been able to manage both capital expenditure and dividend yield to a shareholder.
All right. One more question was there. So I was seeing the technical chart, and the share was in September 2019, it was around 34,000, and it started falling, and it has come to 17,000. So even before COVID was in place, the share price was going down, and it had gone down drastically. So was there any particular reason? Secondly, if the company is already in a good growth mode and the profits are good, along with that, also you're terming it as an essential item. So I don't see any reason for the share price to go down.
Devin, if you're answering that, use the price formula.
The sentiment one.
Yes.
Okay. So when I was researching about this, I did see that the stock started losing its value since January or February. Not losing its value, but it started the price started decreasing in January or February. It was around that. You can see the red candles over there.
If
So
you can,
the thing is, sorry.
get on that slide also. I would also like to see that.
Sure.
Just open the monthly slide page. Better.
Yeah. So it started in January or February. That was before COVID hit the country, COVID hit the market. So in January or February, around that time, they did announce the profit margin. It was somewhere around 40%. So they were projecting it to be somewhere around 50 to 52%, and they were not able to meet that. In February, over this topic only, their CFO gave an interview, and he was asked, you are facing some competition from Birla House. That is, they started Van Heusen started penetrating the market, so they were experiencing some resistance from over there. But the thing is, he had a statement that Van Heusen is trying to enter the market, but we do have a sizable market share. So because of that, the company was not able to meet the profit margin of 52% that was forecasted earlier. So, like we have studied, sentiments are going to influence the current market price of any stock. So whenever you see that company had projected 50% profit margin, and then they are able to attain only 40%, the sentiments do change in the market. People were not analyzing the stock maybe that deeply, and the sentiment of the market turned negative. And after that, COVID hit the market, and we have seen every stock having a price hit, and the value started losing over the stock. So that was my analysis on the price movement that the company has experienced in the past 4 or 5 months.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, to add that, Anirudh, a point well made. At 34000, the PE for Page Industries in probably January 2019 or February 2019 or March 2019 was at 96.
Okay.
Okay, so the PE was around 85 to 96. It was hovering between 85 to 96. And we saw that as compared to March 2018, 2019, the earnings have yet gone, the earnings went up. So the point here is that the sentiment was simply because the valuators were discounting, because you've already studied that, the value, I can use those technical terms, the valuators were discounting it at a higher growth rate. Right? But when we realized that, now probably the growth rate is not going to be as high as the valuators are discounting it with. Even now, what is the PE right now, Devin?
I'll just switch to that. It's around 50.
Yeah. So, and the PE has halved, though the earnings have still gone up. The TTM is up, right, Devin?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the TTM is up, but the PE has fallen down. So now we understand that the importance of trying to understand that the sentiment should be in our comfort zone.
Okay.
Right? Because if we buy something where the sentiment is not in our comfort zone, things like this happen. The stock is fundamentally good, everything is fine, earnings are going up, there is nothing wrong whatsoever, but the stock has just come down to half. Right? So hence the sentiment is important, and that is why we paid so much emphasis on sentiment. Thank you so much, Anirudh, for that question. Anyone else who is interested to have a conversation or to add something like Lakshya did, or to ask a question?
Yes, Devin, I have a question.
Excuse me. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, Devin,
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Hello.
Excuse me. Can I ask a question?
Sure, sir.
Yeah, Mangesh sir, please go ahead.
Yeah, I understand. See, I've been following Page since about 2006, when it was about 500 rupees per share. Now, yeah, I did buy some shares at that time, but my only worry at that time was it's a fantastic business. Its growth is, you need not have to advertise its growth. The only issue at that time was, like, you know what, when McDonald's came here, the local people as well as the foreigner, how far this collaboration can exist, for how long they can be together to take this. Page is Indian, whereas Jockey is US company. How far you both are going to take this for a long-term investor? I'm not talking about short-term investor. So that was one worry at that time. But so far you all have done together very well. But how it is going to be in the future? Will it be the same team working together? That is one point. Second is your growth was fantastic those days, but actually it has dipped. The compound annual growth rate from 2015 to 2020 it has somewhere about 18 to 20%. Now that is a long-term average good growth, no doubt about that. But that will definitely bring down the PE ratio to somewhere around 40 to 50. That is a reasonable PE ratio. But I would still feel if it drops to 40 means it will be a much better buy. Like it is costly, but if you are long-term investor, it is a very good buy. But Jockey is a very good. One more thing I want to ask you all is that out of the whole inner garment industry, how much is the penetration so far by Jockey, and how much is still left over to be explored? Can you give a presentation on that, like, particularly on the upper end market? I can't take the village market into Jockey now. You can at least cover the entire upper end market. How much still
The urban market
is left over? Yeah, how much is still left over? Like,
so, sir, I'll answer the first
and
part of your question.
before that, I'll tell you that Colgate is still saying that they have about another 60% market left over for them. Like that, can Jockey say how much is left over for them?
Sure. Devin, I would like you to answer the second part of it, of the penetration. On the meanwhile, can you just take us to the shareholding pattern of Page so that I can answer Mangesh's first question? Thank you. And Devin, you could prepare the second part of the question. What he's trying to ask is what is the pie share that Jockey has in terms of the total market? So what is the market share of Jockey? Or what is the market share? So Mangesh, sir, like you truly pointed out that joint ventures have been critical in that era of, or in that zone of your investment. For example, we saw Hero MotoCorp as one of the finest examples. We saw Hero and Honda breaking their ties, and it came as a blow to the auto industry and to a lot of investors who fancy investing in auto. I completely understand that fear that as a long-term investor we have, but the thing we have to understand is that here, out of the 48.32% promoter shareholding that we see, if we dig deeper into if we slice this promoter holding, we will see that the international franchise holders or the patent owners of Jockey and of Speedo have reverse invested into or have infused capital in the promoter holding. So the promoter holding includes international investors, or in it's like a JV between the two partners. Even if they break, I'm not saying it's a non-breakable relationship. Even if they break, Page has significant technology. Page has significant infrastructure, and the phenomena here is, or the stickiness here is, that Page is not a trader. They do not import the products and sell it in India. They are whole and soul manufacturers. So from A to Z of the entire manufacturing value chain is done and executed by Page in India.
Okay.
Right. So because they are manufacturers and they know the depth of business, it is highly likely that this relationship would unravel. Right. And another confidence for investors like you and me for this relationship to survive is that when we slice this 48.32% promoter holding, we see that both Page Industries promoters as well as Jockey USA have a close tie-up, and they have put their money to the relationship. So the relationship is not just they're leasing, they're licensing Page and Page manufacturing their products. It is more of putting the money where your mouth is kind of a situation. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, correct. Thank you.
So Devin, you can answer the second part of this question.
So, sir, when we were summarizing the qualitative part, I'll just switch to this slide. They did say that it's an under-penetrated market, and these are the things that they announced in their annual general report that they published last year in the month of May. So, like we can see, the penetration into the premium market is of the order of 20% and 6 to 8% in women market. And we can say that recently they have faced a lot of competition, like a lot of e-commerce brands are trying to enter the market, and you have certain brands like Zivame entering the market. So we have a low market share in the, especially in the segment of women, because a lot of brands have launched their products, and they do have a sizable market share. If you talk about their second competitor or the third competitor, that is Lux or Dollar. If you talk about those, Page Industries still have their revenues intact. They are almost triple the revenue that is being shared by Lux or Dollar. So if we talk about the if we talk about the projection that we were having, we have concluded that it is expected to grow at an impressive CAGR of 10% over the next decade, that is 2027, because this was published in 2017 as per the data of 2017, and they can reach somewhat around 74,000 to 58 crores. So that's the whole business, that the value of the whole business is going to be in 2027, and we can say Page Industry is is at the top of competition. It's still having the revenue triple or at 4 times their next competitor. So whenever the market is going to reach these figures, we can say that Page Industry is still going to be a prominent player in the future, because it has been able to survive 25 years in India. They have seen competition, they have seen brands come and go, but they were able to survive, and they are able to make a name for themselves.
Okay, fine. Thanks. Regarding this question, I mean, most of your clients are those who have graded up their valuation and started buying a higher end product. Those who are buying VIP graduated themselves to go for a jockey league. And I was asking that type of market conversion, how much penetration is still left over?
So that would highly depend on per capita income.
Yeah,
right?
That's
Even
what I'm saying.
Someone who is buying,
when Colgate came to India, it was having a 0% because people, were using sticks and all. And slowly they took over. I mean, jockey literally shook off the local people like VIP and all. I mean, you all threw them off the shelf. And how much is still left over to overtake that business? I'm just asking how much still left over to capture that.
So, sir, if we see the pricing point of view, then it's a premium product. It's not it's not in rural or a semi-rural product. It is for the urban masses. But to answer the question that how much of penetration are we looking, or how much switch are we looking from one product or one brand to other brand, or to Jockey or to Page, we will have to actually see that it completely depends on per capita.
Yeah.
So if we are and per capita income considerably is gonna remain at the same strata for another couple of years. We're not looking at per capita income going up, though we will be looking at GDP and other economical factors reviving after this crisis situation. But the economical distancing, or probably I can say that income inequality would still remain, and that would still push the per capita income below below surge or below growth mark. But that has nothing to do with the company in its operations. It has to do more with economics and do more with per capita income and per capita consumption.
Okay.
Thank you, Mangesh sir. Quite intriguing questions there. Anyone else who would like to ask a question? Or
Dipanshu sir had a question.
Yeah, Dipanshu.
Devan, I just want to have information in future times, like Van Hussein and this Zivame is into the female undergarments. Do you see any future competitors coming with a high capital into this the same market in which this jockey is there?
So there have been substantial number of competitors. If we talk about the fashion brands that we know of, at some point they have tried to enter the market. If we did talk about Levi's. If you go into a mall, if you walk in any branded store, and if you ask for innerwear, they do have a category of it. If you talk about H&M and any brand, but the thing is they have not focused on penetrating the market. They have not focused that much on enhancing their market share, because their focus has been on their primary products. If we talk about Levi's, they focus on jeans. They keep on introducing new models, new technology that they incorporate in a product. So they have been competitors, and it's difficult to say like what big players are going to enter in next 5 years. But many have tried to enter the market in past 10 or 15 years, but yet Page Industry has been able to survive that really well, because Page Industries main focus has always been on innerwear. Like recently they have launched activewear, but uh, they are not going to uh, be in a battle with Puma or Nike or Under Armour. They are offering that product line, but their main focus remains on the innerwear category. So to conclude that every company is offering innerwear, but Page Industry is not really competing with that because they don't have a sizable market share.
Okay,
Emmanuel, so
add on to that, if
Just
like,
to add to your answer,
yeah, sure, Priyanka.
sorry,
Can you go ahead, please?
please go ahead. Yeah, I
Okay,
was
just
just saying that one more factor that justifies your answer is the moat factor for jockey for Page Industries, which is really high. So every other person in India knows about jockey. So that is yet another factor which tells us that the company is going to be here, even despite all the new entrants.
okay. Add on to that question, like, is the drop in which I can see in the chart, is there anything related to that competitors which are coming with the high capital, like Van Heusen you talked about? Is there anything to do with the Van Heusen with the drop in the price of Page Industries, which is I can see from the graphs, or it
sir,
is something else?
like we did discuss, Emmanuel sir did explain the concept of sentiment, and we have seen in the past year, Birla, like Van Heusen, is trying to penetrate or increase its market share, and to counter that, Page Industries is increasing their investment in the distribution channel. We did discuss that they are thinking of opening multiple EBOs, that is exclusive business outlets. So that would involve investment, and whenever you are having investment, that is going to take a hit on the numbers as well, and because of this fact that they are trying to be very aggressive in the market. So when the numbers came out in the month of January or February, and they were not able to attain what was forecasted from past few years, that was 52%. Instead of that, they attained 40%, which is still decent, which is a very good figure. But the thing is, it did change the sentiment in the market. And because of that, the price dropped, stock price dropped, and after that, it the COVID factor added to that, and then because of these things, we can be grateful that it is in our comfort zone and we can enter into the stock.
Sir, I have a question, Sunil this side.
Yes, sir.
Hello? Okay. Sir, if you remember in our fundamental classes, Emmanuel sir has told us about the product life cycle, and he discussed about a story of Facebook, and then they purchased WhatsApp. So how you see that this stock in that category? What about this stock's product life cycle, and what about the innovations they're gonna do it, and how they're gonna take the graph again to the upper side? Because when Facebook was at the peak, then the people are thinking, that's what the story I still remember by Emmanuel sir, that they took WhatsApp and then the again graph, they prolonged the graph. How you see this stock? Since it's a 25-year-old stock, so it must be having a history of like product life cycle in that case.
Hmm. So, sir, whenever I do agree that every product has a maturation time, maturity period, they do reach that. And to counter that, they have been innovating. Like I talked about earlier, also they few years back, to target the teenage group, they did launch the pop color range, and then the industry, rather the whole society was moving towards fitness in the past few years, like 6 to 7 years. There has been a craze about fitness, so they entered into the athleisure. So it's not like they are sticking to their guns, which they made 10 or 15 years ago. They have been innovating. They have been launching new products. They have been trying to penetrate the market in terms of distribution channel as well. So
Also, the
if
introduction of Speedo, Devin, it was in 2011, so you can add that as well. So when the
yeah,
market was
like
getting saturated, they added Speedo in 2011.
so
Yeah.
they did increase their portfolio. Like Page Industry was only dealing with Jockey, and then in 2011 they had a license of Speedo. That's for swimming, swimwear and swimming accessories. So they have been trying to evolve. They have been trying to innovate in their own ways, and we cannot say that it's at maturity level, because innerwear is something which can be up to some extent considered a FMCG or an essential product. Like even in like right now, if you talk about right now, these days, people have not started postponing, or they have not stopped completely purchasing innerwear. Whenever they have faced a requirement, they have purchased a product from Jockey. Maybe not Speedo from right now, because it's a swimwear, but they have purchased products from Jockey.
Thank you, Devin. Also, to answer Dipanshu and Sunil, both of your questions with one answer. So until 2012, the major revenue stream for Page was men's innerwear. Women was still a category they were not able to penetrate, because lingerie in itself is a different category, and that's where Zimbabwe and other high segment players operate, right? But post 2011, they've come up and they've really come up with new products. And when the product extension is women innerwear also. So now I think it's still not as significant as male innerwear, but they have done sizable advancement in that particular section.
Can I ask something about it?
Yeah, Mangesh.
Yeah, regarding this women's product, like, even Jockey has done an impressive lineup, and I think they'll have sales going the years ahead. And now I want to ask one question like this. Last 5 years, the growth is around 20% compounded annual growth rate. How much is the proportion between the sales in the volume and the price? Can you tell me that out of this 20%, the proportion belonging to volume increase and the price increase of the product?
So Devin,
contributing
what Mangesh is trying to ask is whether the net revenue has gone up because of the price, because the price has increased, or it has gone up because the volumes have increased. So has the number of quantities sold increased, or the price per quantity has increased?
How much is the share with proportionality?
Yeah.
So they did announce that in their annual general statements that they have been able, like we did talk about, like they have currently 20% market share in the men innerwear and 6 to 8% in women innerwear. So before that, they have been able to manage, like earlier to that, they had somewhat around 14 to 16% of market share in the men innerwear, and they have been to increase that to 20% because of the extensive marketing that they have done, or the aggression that they have showed with the new products. So we can say that volume has increased, the market share, and conclude from that their market share has been able to.
So Mangesh figures, but I've gone through their annual general meetings I've been going through their AGMs for last 11 years now. So what I understand is went through a series of from vendors and started using their own material to a major extent. Also, things like coloring and things like stitching and I don't know what not, but there have been series of backward integrations which have complemented. The byproduct of these backward integrations have been that the price has not moved up significantly. So if like I have been a loyal Jockey customer all my life, so if you see the price of a product that you probably buy you bought 8 years ago or 5 years ago or 6 years ago and today, you will see that the price even didn't go up like inflation, commodity, if you want to say that.
Okay.
And that was possible only because they went through a lot of backward
Cost-cutting.
integration.
Yeah.
I hope that answers
understood.
your question, but
Yeah,
I will revert to you with the exact figures because
Okay, fine.
they are there somewhere in the AGM. I just have to find them. Thank you. Any other questions, guys?
शेयर कब लेना है?
Sir, David, please ask David.
Sir,
So I think Sahil Kataria has an announcement to make.
The share has gone up today by 6.06%. That is almost
I
1154
like
points.
to add one. I like to add one word. I like to add a word like in 2006, this page was at 500 rupees. Like, my God, I should have bought more. Yeah. Imagine, whenever I wear an inner garment, I'll remember Jockey. It was 500 rupees, boss. And imagine it went to.
I remember you used to tell in college that you buy this share. I should have bought that.
I tell my students in the college, like, it was at 500 rupees per share.
Sir, I'll give you 1,000 rupees for each share you own.
Okay.
Yeah, so guys, this is what happens, and we all should understand that. Sorry, Sahil, we are cutting you in between.
No problem.
Okay. We have to understand that an opportunity like we see today comes in once a decade opportunity. A lot of quality stocks are at a lot of value prices. So for a lot of us who are sitting on cash or who are thinking to start investing, this is a golden time. And if we buy something like Mangesh sir is just telling you, if we buy something like Page or ITC or Adani Ports, these are a couple of stocks that we already all of us know about. 10 years down the line, we will only regret that we didn't buy enough, right? Because the economy is gonna come out of it like it does every time. There is no way the younger generation or the next generation will lead a better life than we do. That's the rule of the capitalistic world that we live in. So over to you, Sahil. You were announcing something.
The share has gone up today by 6.06%. That is 1154 points in the market.
Thank you, Sahil. So guys, we didn't plan it that way. We with Ali and Devin have been preparing for this presentation since last Thursday. So there was no attempt whatsoever. That is why you will see, Devin, can you come to your daily chart? That's why you will see that the chart says a different price than today's closing, because this chart was added yesterday, and and you will see that there is no candle for today. Hence, we were doing it way before the price moved. Also, it's a quality share. To answer you, Lakshay, you can start buying as per Devin.
As per all of us.
Yeah, Atul sir, over to you if you would like to answer.
No, I think team did a fantastic presentation. Nobody can believe this is done by MBA students. Honestly speaking, this is actually research analyst quality presentation. So I'm really proud of both of them. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So guys, if we have nothing else to ask, I think it was a fabulous presentation. We all should thank David and Vidali for their time and efforts and for sharing the insights with us.